Welcome back, everybody. We are now going to the rear part of the Quattro, and I have to apologize for not doing it sooner. I hurt my shoulder, couldn't pick up anything for 2 months, and I played catch-up ever since. And a lot of other things happened. But that's what you get when you're an old guy trying to do jiu-jitsu. You know, and just like that's what happens. All right, well, here we go. This is the rear of the A2. These are the drive shafts that I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to put in. So let me bring you over here, and I'll show you kind of a little bit of walk around what we're going to do. Before we get onto the back, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use, because I remember on the last episode that I said I was going to be using longer shafts for the rear, so I don't have to use big spacers on the A2 here, because I didn't have it. So right here, this is the 4000 Quattro shaft with a hub. This is pretty much the height of the assembly, and this thing will be all the way down, and that's the height. What I wanted to do was to get the shaft pretty much just like the Sport Quattro, the size of the 20 valve turbo, the 5000 turbo Quattro shafts, which are just a wider track. What I did is I found, this is from a 20 valve Quattro. You can tell because the splines have been cut into, it's not a ring basically to pop off. Well, it probably is, but it looks like it's actually been cut into the CV joint on this CV, but it is what it is. This was the height that I was kind of looking for, and it's about an inch and a quarter higher on this one than this. So I decided to look around going, I couldn't use that shaft because the inner CV joint, there's two CV joints, one with a 100 millimeter bolt diameter, and a diameter of 100 millimeters, which is the 4000 Quattro later, 86 and above, and that 5000 turbo, or 200 turbo, whichever one this came from, I can't remember how many I've broken. That's 108 millimeter. That's just the other. It would have worked if the 4000 Quattro differential was a single piece, and it was the early version from 85 and before. 85 and before. Now, I'm sitting there going, well, I need to find a shaft with for a 5-lug hub assembly from the Audi, but it has to have a 100 millimeter diameter inner CV. So what I found was the the A4 Quattro rear right here, which is, as you can see by the size of the hub where the hub assembly is on, it's about an inch and a half taller. So it's what we need. We just pop the ring off and just put them in. And it has a 100 millimeter bolt circle, 100 millimeter CV shaft, inner CV, so I can use it and bolt right onto the 4000 Quattro. I was going to use a front shaft, which is right here, which I pulled off of the front just for the heck of it. And if you take a look, let me just, actually, no, this is a bigger CV joint in the front, so I can't use that. But anyway, what it is this pretty much has maybe let's see, it's almost exactly the same, maybe about half an inch or about 10 to 13 millimeters taller, and I wanted to get more height. Pretty much it. That's all I wanted to do. The hubs will go into the strut assemblies themselves. Just have to use the correct bearing. I'll match one up. There's got to be something out there that I can do. Now that we have this all squared away, I got to get right on to doing the rear quarters, and I'll show you what I'm going to do there. Now that we're moving on to the rear of the car, we have to make it fit correctly, as close to the factory as I can. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do here. What we got is, we can see this. If you take a look right here, this line is pretty much just a little bit more from the top all the way over. So it's a flush mount fit for the rear of the taillights. So it should be the same exact thing for the A2. We got a better shot right here. take a look right here, in this picture, it's almost stock all the way down to here until you get to the flare. So there's pretty much no more, and if you look at the vent, it's stock panel. There's no ridge that goes onto the vent. So what you got to do is you have to blend this small portion right here of the fender flare into the quarter. So what we have to do is make the quarter go back so it can fit flush with the metal. That is my plan. Whether or not it's going to work is going to be another thing. I'll show you what I'm going to do to make that work. Now we have to trim this to contour to this body. And you have to break out the die grinder to do it, or the cutting wheel, the whiz wheel. What we have to do is get the thickness of this fiberglass right here. This is roughly what it is. And we'll bring it down like this and follow the contours. And when it disappears, this is where we're going to cut back and allow it to sit into the body. I don't want to go too far, because the more I go back this way, the weaker this becomes. And I want to go just as much, but I also have to, the more I cut back here, the weaker this becomes. So there's a trade-off on what you want. I don't want this to crack, as in if you have a lot of Bondo in it, it's going to crack. Fiberglass always cracks, but I'm just trying to eliminate the body, the Bondo in it, because it flexes, it's bad. So if I bring this back up, this is now all flat. It's where it's supposed to be. Right here, this side goes in because of the quality of this bodywork. But this is the main concern. This is flat. This is what we want. This is what blends in. This is going to be factory steel. Anyway, we're not even going to use this. But we have this, it's all going to be blended right in. As you can see, this is holding it up a little bit. What we have to do is I get this measuring caliper, or whatever you want to call it. It's like made in India. They're cheap. They're a couple dollars. What I did is I say, okay, well, this is the height of the fiberglass for this, because I want this to go in. So I need to take off. I need to go down here. Where it stops, where this caliper goes to where there's no more fiberglass, that's the line you cut straight down. I'm still going to have to hand file it and so forth, but you're getting the general gist. So let me go out, let me go get my die grinder, and I can get this cut down, because I'm going to have to cut in a couple other things. I'm going to get my mask on and goggles. This is one of the few things I've been regretting doing. I've been just putting off. That's probably one of the other reasons why I didn't make the videos, because I hate cutting fiberglass. But in order to get it done, we got to do it. So let me go get the stuff and get my stuff on. Now that the fiberglass has died down from the air, as you can see, I pretty much got it level, or as flush as I think I can with the tools that I have. I don't want to hand file it just yet. So let me bring you over and show you exactly where I cut and how I cut it. Right here, so it'll go right into the body. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of Bondo, but hopefully I can use some of the panel bond to get the lip, or the transition from the fiberglass to the metal nice and smooth. It won't break. Let me show you this. As you can see, right here, it's pretty much, this is flush all the way through here. The flare starts right around here, so it's cut up to fill in the width of this fiberglass is right there. So when I bring it down, it pretty much will be flush with the actual bodywork. Of course it'll be filler here, but that's, neither here nor there. I think I have this thing all set up down here because this is on the correct line of sight, basically. Right here. You have to remember, I'm still working with some haphazard, stuff on the molds. Best I can, I'll just do the best I can with what I got, Let me go over. I'm going to do the other side. I'll pop out the Sport Quattro, and we will get into the trunk area of this to where we need to get the fuel system in. Let's zip on over. Not the fiberglass smells out of the air. This is going to be flush. I got to build a plate onto here, and as you can see, this thing all fits flush. Same with over there. Let's go do the Sport Quattro and get that. This might be a little bit different. These fenders there's a lot more fiberglass to work with, so we're going to have to cut down here also. As you can see, the contour of the rear back panel that we have to get in there. So we have to take off. I'm just going to use the Whiz-Weld and cut up alongside in there. That way we can pull it in. But it's the same thing here. This is where the fender flare starts. We need to go up about this much. Right there. This is actually thicker. So it seemed to work better if I just took the saw and just went up here, went down there, cut in. Oh, lots of fun, huh? It's the only problem, or not problem, the only good thing about being freezing out here is that I don't mind wearing the mask and all this garb, so I'd only watch for 2 days instead of 4. One thing I didn't expect when I was going to film. I forgot all about this. See how this is a road car? We have a fuel tank that's going to be done from the outside, not like the rally car that's going to be inside. And the way this is all set up, I have to do the same thing that I did here, which is level off. The big thing is I'm trying to get it as square as possible to this line right here, and pulling it forward just a little bit is going to be really, this side right here is going to be way too far. So I'm kind of splitting the difference between this and this. I'm going to cut this down here so it fits into the bottom. I'm probably going to have to redo this right down here, redo this right down here so I can use a gas door and just flare it out. Because if you take a look at the originals in those pictures, it looks like just a regular gas door that's flared out. Let me get this thing cut up so I can move it more flush into the panel. Because I got it flush over here. I just have to cut this ridge right to there, and I need enough support area around it. So I need to cut down. I'm going to go the same line roughly that I did here over to here, and it's going to be like that. So let me just get right on to cutting that. It's not one thing, it's another. And I just wish this distance from here to here would match up, but it doesn't. As you can see, it's at least 3/8 of an inch, or what is that, like 11 millimeters, 10 millimeters, something like that, over on this side. Well, no better time to do it than right now. The gas door. This is going to be a pain to make right. This is what we got. So I had to look at the picture again. Take a look right there. The gas door does have two things that come, two lines that come down to break it and flares into the fender. Now let's go back to here. We have two lines right here. Is where it flares in. It rolls out right here to go into the arches. I want to keep this because this actually has an indentation on there. I don't know if it's as big or not, but it still has this indentation, so I want to keep that. So I have to cut down to right where this is. Same thing over here. I'm going to cut down. I'm going to follow over here to right here. I'm going to cut down to right where that is, and then I'm going to build the gas door around it. I have, over to the sides where the lights are. That's as far as I go unless I want to cut into the actual bodywork or into the actual fender flare. I don't want to do it, so we have to, split the difference. Let's just cut that, trying to get that thing squared away. It's doable. I'm just kind of curious to see how it's going to, because I'm going to have to build up inside here. That's just what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get this like this and build it up inside. Same thing over here, build it up inside, and then take the gas door, cut it, and bring it out and do that. So let me just do that, and we'll get on to it. Well, we have to work out. We have to do something with it. That side's cut in, last side, because this is all going to be a lot of metal work. We just have to do this side, and then it's all rough cut in. Then we can start doing the metal work to prepare it, but then we'll get back onto the A2 fuel system. Because I'd much rather do that quickly, and I'll get that done. Oh, this fiberglass is terrible. Oh. Take a look. We have it cut in. It's pretty much all there. When I build the tabs on the sides, then when the panel bond goes in, it'll fill in this slight crack, and then I can just peel it off and do the finish work there. I'm going to end this just because hopefully this is not going too long. I'm trying to get them shorter, even though whenever I say I do, it doesn't work. Yeah, just the way it is. We're going to jump onto the fuel systems next on the A2 and get that thing squared away, because I actually want to get that into a position where I can start welding it all up. And same thing with this. I want to, the hardest thing is still think is the trunk, because this thing's going to be a little bit different. Plus, I found some other stuff that's my screw ups in here. Hey, listen, it's the first time I've done it. Let's go over, and then I'll get over to the A2. So until next time, you can do it. I'm nothing special. Just a hillbilly sitting here trying to do all this stuff. Whew. Have fun. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it.